is up, ladies and gentlemen, the HWF audience? It is I, the Icon Soup, and I am back after my surgery, after my 2-month hiatus. I am back with Shootin' with the Soup, baby. I am the Soup, of course, and right now, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk about another year in the HWF. Now, we went over some of the later years, 06, 09, 14, 02. This year is 2001, ladies and gentlemen. Biggest year of HWF on record until 2002, baby, because that's when we hit our stride. 2001 was great. It was the year I graduated, the year Weed Man graduated, it was the year Jabo graduated, the professor, and 2001 was good because by the end of 2000, we started to hit our stride, and we were good. We weren't just some jabronis wrestling in the backyard and throwing some shit together like I see nowadays. We actually put a fucking hurting on each other. Real chair shots, real ladder shots. We told each other, come on, this is for the gold, baby. We got to put it out there. And you know, again, I reiterate, back in 2001, we had no YouTube. We had no Facebook. We had MySpace. And it wasn't until 2005 that YouTube was invented. So all the stuff we did was for us. For me, for Jabbo, for Balls, Suicide Kid, Big Sexy. You know, the list goes on and on. 2001 was no different. We started off, Beach Party 2001 was basically all of the big feuds rolled into one. I introduced the Brooklyn Boxer, aka the Boxer, to come out and fight my opponent for Beach Party 2001, Suicide Kid, and he got beaten in like 5 seconds. The Boxer, I loved him because he was always there, but he played a pivotal role in being the HWF's jabroni. I think he won one match in his whole career of HWF. Now, with that said, me and Jabbo, Professor Jabbo, the HWF TV champion at the time, took on the HWF world champion at the time, and we had a barn burner. We tore the house down. We went out there. It had been 7 months since we had wrestled before, so like we wanted to get out there and really throw our shit down. And if you go back and watch it on YouTube, HWF Beach Party 2001, you won't be disappointed. And I believe I voted that as the greatest event in HWF history, baby. So go check it out. Because also at that event was the second greatest match of all time, Balls and Jabbo, in the TV title match, which was, it was unbelievable. Two former partners going head to head. They put on a clinic. And I believe that's number 2 or 3 of the greatest moments in HWF history, too, because that match was just phenomenal. We also had me and Suicide Kid, the Battle of 420, culminate in an epic ladder match, which was one of the most brutal matches in HWF history. Actually, YouTube took it down because it was so violent and it went against their guidelines, but it was so good, so bloody. I bled everywhere. It was the first time me and Suicide Kid went one-on-one, but it was actually, we were equal because he had grown. He wasn't this little punk kid no more. He was Suicide Kid, you know? And that culminated with him winning the title, his second ever, but he went on a year-long title reign after that because he was good, you know? And it rolled into Violence is Good 2001. And Violence is Good 2001, we had the Extreme Superstar Doug Seltzer join us back. And the Victor. And it's a funny note during that event because me and Suicide Kid had our rematch from Beach Party 2001 at that event. And I don't know what it was, but it was physical. You know, we tore the house down. And I remember at one point I threw him, we were at the state park, and I threw him off a picnic table, and I dove off the picnic table. He moved, and I landed awkwardly on my shoulder. And I remember I dislocated my shoulder something. It hurt like a son of a bitch, and I couldn't lift it over like this high for about 4 months. I mean, it was hurt. I was hurt, and like it was hurt. Go back and watch it. You know, it was brutal. We also had the Doug the Extreme Superstar won a #1 contenders match in that event versus the Invictor. He would go on later that year to wrestle Suicide Kid at Ultra Clash in October, but this is April here, 2001. So, you know, that event went through. We rolled right into Restricted Area 2001, and now Restricted Area 2001 would have had a few important things in it. It was the debut of the Gimp. We had a TV title tournament because I was supposed to fight Jabbo for the television title. Well, he no-showed. Because that was back in the day, we didn't have cell phones. So we had to ding, 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 dial up the landline and say, hey, is Ryan home? Because we're supposed to wrestle. And, you know, half the times they wouldn't fucking answer. Half the times they would, but they had no ride to get there. So anyways, we had a TV title tournament. It was me and the Gimp, Boxer and Nowak. Me and Suicide Kid in the finals, which I had me winning the TV title. I went on a 417-day reign as the champion. And then me and him went right into a title match. So we had the TV title match. As soon as that was done, boom, title match. He beat me, you know, so on and so forth. Well, that brings us to one of the greatest events of all time, baby. Hardcore Dreams 2001 Part 1. It was at the Evan Goals Forum, I believe, or Spectrum, or whatever the one. It was in the woods. It had a bunch of great matches. Me and Jabbo, again, a rematch. You know, I won the title at Restricted Area. Figured he showed up. So I gave him a shot at the TV title, of course. You know, I'm a nice guy. That match was awesome. That match was great because we introduced these plastic folding chairs that we had got from somewhere, and we just bashed each other with them because they didn't hurt that much. They didn't hurt like the metal ones did, so we could beat the shit out of each other with them. And you know that we had a 4-way dance. It was the third 4-way dance, and I don't know if I planned this or it just happened with me, Extreme Superstar Doug Seltzer, Suicide Kid, and Balls. This is the 4th time. The first one was at 4th Violent Act in 99, or 3rd Violent Act in August 99. The second one was November 99 at 4th Violent Act, and this was the third one-on-one, or third 4-way dance between these 4 particular guys in September of 2001. And another thing, Hardcore Dreams Part 1 was September 21st, 2001. It was 10 days after 9/11. So put that a little bit into perspective here, because we went out there and we were just pissed and we beat the hell out of each other. It was good stuff. Memorial, 9/11, baby. You know, then we had a couple other matches. The debut of Mike Livesey. He destroyed Professor Jabbo. And it rolled into Hardcore Dreams Part 2. See, Hardcore Dreams Part 2 shouldn't have been Hardcore Dreams Part 2. Hardcore Dreams Part 2 should have been something else. But we were all despondent because the first Hardcore Dreams, we had a few matches that we had set, but we ran out of time and daylight. So we made a Hardcore Dreams Part 2, you know, inevitably. Shouldn't have. It was 10 days later, 15 days later or something. So it was like, man, we shouldn't have had it. But whatever, it's not a big deal. That one was great. The first ever 5-way dance for the HWF Heavyweight Championship. Professor Jabbo, Livesey, Soup, Balls, and Suicide Kid. It was great. Me and Livesey, one-on-one for the television title. Another barn burner. Suicide Kid, he threw down an open challenge, and he liked to do that. And it was answered by the Icon Soup. And we had a 5-minute... the damnedest 5-minute world title match I've ever had. And that was great. You know, Hardcore Dreams Part 2 2002 or 2001 part 2, that was good. The thing was, we were wrestling at the park at the Evan Gold Forum or Spectrum or whatever. Halfway through Jabbo and Balls' match, the goddamn police show up, and the police kicked us out. They're like, you gotta go. This is a park property. You guys are fighting. You gotta go. So that was like the 5th time we got busted by the police. 4th, 5th time we got kicked out of a place. Actually, no, that was the 4th. Because at the next event, Ultra Clash 4, we got kicked out of North Evans Park. So we were just getting kicked out of parks left and right in 2001. But Hardcore Dreams Part 2, the main event was BAM, Balls and Soup versus the University, which was the newly formed team of Jabbo, Professor Jabbo, and me, Mike Livesey. So, and that match was crazy. It was in the basement. Throwback to the 90s HWF in 1998, 97. And that was a hell of a match. Actually, the highlight of that was at the end of the match, Livesey turned on Jabbo. We all beat the hell out of Professor Jabbo. He got hit by a car, and that was the death of Professor Jabbo. Like, he died. Which was a shame, because that was one of the best gimmicks in HWF, and he wanted to change it and go urban, and it was whatever, So that led into Ultra Clash 4. And Ultra Clash 4 was great, because we had the first one-on-one match between Suicide Kid and the Extreme Superstar in 2.5 years. They hadn't wrestled in 2.5 years. So that was great. We had the first ever 3-way tag team title match. BAM! The Seltzer Boys and Gimp and Suicide Kid. That match was awesome. And then after that match is when the police showed up. So then we had to go back down to Jabbo's basement and finish up Ultra Clash 4. Not a big deal. We had the Ultra Clash tournament, and it was good. We went in. It was the debut of the Extreme Icon, Dave Seltzer, Doug's brother. And the Gimp was there, and Balls, and me, and Livesey. And it was good. Actually, Livesey and the Gimp had the first and only one-on-one match at that event. And friggin' Livesey, bang, he knocked that Gimp. I think after that, Gimp only wrestled a few more times. So put that in perspective here, because he really put a whooping on him. We had After Dark 2001, which right followed Ultra Clash. It was the return of Jabbo. He went one-on-one with Livesey, Balls, and the Extreme Icon, Dave Seltzer. Another great event. Go check it out. Those 3 matches. Jabbo, he came out and he actually, he put one in for the team, and it was great. We actually culminated the year with the 5th Violent Act, which was December 26, 2001, first and only time we ever wrestled in December, and it was in the snow. We went down to the park, me, Suicide Kid, the return of Big Sexy after 2 years. He had come home. We convinced him to wrestle, Balls, the Gimp, and the debut of the Weed Man. And that event is pretty important because, again, Suicide Kid threw out an open challenge, answered by me. It started the rivalry with me and the Gimp. And the Weed Man debuted, 420 bombed the Gimp. And me and Bam threw out an open challenge. It was answered by Big Bad Sexy. And we had the second ever 3-way dance, a rematch of Beach Party 1999, Ladder to Hell. Me, Balls, and Big Sexy, we tore the house down. It was good. We beat on each other. Big Sexy power bombed me so hard on the friggin' ground, it hurt. It was good. That match had we had 2 more matches set for that event when the camera cut off. So we had halfway through Bam versus Gimp and Weedman, and Bam had cut off. So go figure, technology back then, we were limited to what we could do, But that was 2001. And 2001 was a great year. It saw the debut of the Boxer, Mike Livesey, the Gimp, the Weed Man, the Extreme Icon, Dave Seltzer. That's 5 guys that year that debuted. It was awesome, And then we went into 2002, which we got even better. And I don't understand we stopped doing it after 2002. But 2001, that was the year, baby, that it changed for the HWF. Go check out those matches. They're on YouTube, all of them. And you will not be disappointed. Well, that was all that I'm going to do for tonight. So I'm Soup the Icon. This was Shooting with the Soup. And I will see you, HWF audience, on the flip side, baby. Thanks for watching.